All right, welcome into the show. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. And coming up, the 49ers have made another addition to their roster in signing a player who is being brought in by San Francisco, led by Brant Boyer's influence, the Niners special teams coordinator, as San Francisco, after years of poor special teams play, continues to bolster their special teams unit. Thomas Morstead headed to the Niners. He tweeted this out this morning. Obviously, he's there at Levi's Stadium in front of that Niners helmet, outside of Levi's, and in front of that big banner which reads, "Faithful to the Bay." Thomas Morstead, as far as the caption on that tweet, it reads, "Grateful is an understatement." We're talking about a guy who is well-traveled in his NFL career, well-accomplished, and he's been in the NFL for nearly 2 decades. The punter position is one where you can certainly play for a very long time. He was a 2009 fifth-round pick out of SMU by the New Orleans Saints. He has good size, and look, this is why you subscribe to the channel. Are you getting this info anywhere else? 6'4", 225, and in the pre-draft process coming out of SMU, playing for the Ponies, how about the athleticism there for the punter? A 4.88 40-yard dash. Producer Chip thinks that he can break a 4.6. Cap on that. He is not beating Thomas Morstead in a 40-yard dash. 4.88, he can certainly move. Won a Super Bowl with New Orleans. That's when the Saints finally broke through early in that tenure under Sean Payton after Hurricane Katrina, as Drew Brees finally got that Lombardi Trophy, a huge moment for the city of New Orleans. In 2012, he was a second-team All-Pro and named to the Pro Bowl as well. And in his NFL career, he has played a lot, 255 career games. Here's his path. Spent a majority of his career with the New Orleans Saints. 2009, so winning a Super Bowl shortly thereafter, all the way through 2020. And then he split some time in 2021 with the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. Went to the Miami Dolphins in 2022 and punted there in South Beach. And then he was with the Jets the last 2 years, 2023 and 2024. When I talk about the Brandt Boyer influence, Brant Boyer, the new Niners special teams coordinator who has taken over for Brian Schneider, has familiarity here with Morstead because Morstead was his punter the last 2 years under Robert Saleh. So Robert Saleh also has familiarity with Morstead. And when you've been in the league this long, yeah, you're going to be a little bit older, 39 years old. Of course, the question that a lot of you might have, the question that I have, and the question that arises with this signing, what is up with Mitch Wishnowsky? 4th-round pick by the Niners in 2019. He had a very illustrious college career. He went to Utah. Before that, Santa Barbara City in 2014-2015, winner of the Ray Guy Award in 2016. So that goes to the nation's best punter, a unanimous All-American in 2016, a 2-time second-team All-American in 2017-2018, and a 3-time first-team All-Pac-12 member from 2016 through 2018, RIP to the Pac-12. He did not miss a game in his entire career up until last year when the Aussie got hurt. Back and knee injuries derailed his 2024 campaign, and last year he really struggled after probably having a career year in 2023. A lot of players on that 2023 Niners team had career seasons en route to that Super Bowl appearance, but last year for Wishnowsky, you could tell something wasn't right. Averaged the lowest net yards per punt of his career. And so with OTAs in session, Niners back on the practice field this week in Santa Clara, this probably indicates that Wishnowsky still is not healthy. And so the Niners needed to bring in a punter, and Morstead is that guy. And really all offseason we have seen that the Brant Boyer influence has been real. Over time, he has been recognized as one of the top, most respected special teams coordinators in the NFL. Kyle Shanahan was questioned during his end-of-the-season press conference, why don't you take special teams seriously enough? Why does that continue to be a unit, the third phase of the game, that continues to be an awfully performing unit? Kyle Shanahan kind of barked back at that and fought back at that narrative. But then what have the Niners done all offseason? In free agency, they signed a lot of players with special teams ability who have a track record of performing very well on special teams. In the draft, the Niners drafted a lot of players who have a history of performing on special teams. And then once their final pick came around, and Junior Bergen, the punt returner, one of the best punt returners in the history of FCS football, was on the board, Brandt Boyer and some special teams coaches, they were pounding the table saying, we need that guy. And so I like what the Niners have done because they have bolstered a special teams unit that over the last few years has cost them in the regular season. It's cost them in the playoffs, and they've been some of the worst special teams units in the National Football League, and Boyer has brought in a lot of his own guys. He's bringing in Morstead. Recently, the Niners signed Greg Joseph, a well-traveled kicker, to compete with Jake Moody. He, too, played under Boyer recently with the New York Jets. And so this offseason, you think about everything that the Niners have done. The offense is pretty much the same. A lot of the players on the offensive side are returning, and a lot of those players who have been starters going to be starters here in 2025. But they have remade the defense. They have remade the special teams unit too, led by John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and Brant Boyer. Last year, it was an unmitigated disaster, man. Special teams unit, errors and miscues weekly. Successful fake punts allowed. Costly penalties committed. Muffed return attempts. Missed field goals too. Jake Moody was really, really bad. And you take a look at the Niners special teams DVOA. Since Kyle Shanahan took over as head coach in 2017, 2024, they were second to last in the NFL. EPA, they were also terrible last year too. In 2023 with DVOA, 25th. 2022, 15th. 2021, 26th. 2020, 23rd. 2019, this was when Richard Hightower was there, 12th. 2018, 14th. 2017, 11th. And so started off well, but starting in 2020, these have been some of the lowest performing special teams units in the National Football League. Now, with the special teams EPA under Brant Boyer, some mixed results, but he did survive multiple regime changes with New York, and the coaches who got hired by the Jets after the previous coaches were let go and fired, they held on to Boyer. I think that's pretty notable because that goes back to me saying he's a well-respected special teams coach in the NFL. A guy like Pat McAfee, who was an incredible punter when he was playing in the NFL. He's been on the Pat McAfee show saying Brant Boyer is one of the best special teams coordinators in the National Football League. The Niners got themselves a dog, I think is what McAfee said. Now in 2024, they were 26th. The Jets were in EPA. 2023, 11th. 2022, 13th. You can live there because you have to imagine with Kyle Shanahan running the offense, Robert Saleh running the defense, they're going to be top 10 units, right? At least they should be under some of the best coaches at those specific spots in the NFL. If you can just live in that middle range of the NFL, that's fine. You can't afford to be 31st or 32nd. 2021, 19th in EPA. 2020, 25th. 2019, 8th. 2018, 1st. 2017, 17th. 2016, 30th. That's cumulative 14th. You will take that if you're San Francisco, especially having a couple of top 10 ranking seasons there for Boyer. He's also helped to develop, maximize some special teams players. And as far as returns go, the Jets were pretty explosive. During his Jets tenure, 2016 through 2024, Boyer led a special teams unit that ranked tied for second in total touchdowns, 9, second in blocked punts with 8, and tied for 5th in special teams points scored, 63, and opponent kick return average, 21.8. My gosh, the Niners probably salivating at those numbers. And under Boyer's guidance, 2 players, Braxton Berrios, wide receiver Andre Roberts, earned Associated Press first-team All-Pro honors as returners, while 3 players, Justin Hardy, Roberts, and kicker Jason Myers in 2019, made Pro Bowl appearances. I also really like Boyer's mentality and his approach to special teams play and the message that he relays to his players, it's refreshing. And I just like this coaching staff right now for the Niners. It's a big reason why I think they're going to improve dramatically from last year. Kyle Shanahan, old school football guy. Robert Saleh, old school football guy who has a lot of energy. Brant Boyer, old school football guy who's a throwback. He brings a lot of energy and physicality to that third phase of the game. Here's what Boyer said earlier this offseason. Overall mindset. At the end of the day, this is a violent game played by men. Special teams is a one-on-one matchup 90% of the time. And it's either you or him, and it's going to be you, period. That's his message to his players. That gets me ready and fired up to run through the screen that you're watching this show on right now. And that's the whole mindset that I want these guys to understand, that we're here for them, and we're here to make them better. And that's what it comes down to. I'm here to do the best job I can to create a culture that shouldn't be like punishment to play special teams. And I think teams around the league, that moniker comes out like, oh man, I don't want to play special teams. It shouldn't be like that. That's how I made a living. That's how a lot of people make a living in this league. And if you can create a culture that the guys know you give a damn about them, they're going to play for you. And that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, come on, man. Brian Schneider, in recent years, he wasn't saying stuff like that. Brant Boyer is. Robert Saleh is. And Kyle Shanahan's not really a rah-rah guy, but with how much he loves ball, considering his family history, his history of climbing up the ranks, what he's been able to do, the intensity that you see from Shanahan, the demands and the expectations that he puts on his players, Snyder's coaching staff, it's a damn good one among the 32 teams in the National Football League. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button whenever breaking news happens. I always have you covered. We also have great deals that we always tell you about, thanks to our fine folks at Fanatics. This shirt right here, Faithful to the Bay, on sale, limited time only for only $18. You can get it by going to chatsports.com/